I should be recording myself now. I'm gonna not be tagged. I'm on a old profile, so I'm probably gonna private this and make this for you specifically. But this is Rec Room. This is a game that is in beta right now, and Rec Room is essentially like an attempt at Ready Player One type stuff, and that's similar to what VR Chat is as well. And I'm going to talk about the pros and cons of both of them as we go on. But this is where I've made my residence for now. Previous stuff. Uh, I too am kind of like someone who like moves around a lot. So VR kind of gives me a place to like re-immerse myself into familiarity, and that's a part of why VR spirituality is a little different because, well, first I gotta talk about my heavy influence uh, from techno paganism, of like the 90s and, Chaos Magic of the 80s and Grant Morrison stuff.
I was in the other building, but yeah, I did it.
You
I
did,
was in here for like 30 minutes, and I'm finally taking a bath, so I did it.
did what? Oh, God. Alright. Okay. I don't want to know anything about it.
Yeah.
It was awkward. I was not expecting her to come home. My sister just came home. She just got a piercing on a whim. Um, so I am now. It really shocked me. I was really not expecting her. Uh, I'm going to my custom rooms and I'm going to the beta of this room. And something to keep in mind is that both this game and this room are in beta. Uh, and I may plan to keep a good portion of it on here and just record personal videos in VR. But we're going to the church right now. This should be the updated map. Sorry, I'm also drinking gamer juice. Okay, so where we are right now is a beta. It's not forever gonna stay in this weird kind of sky land thing. Um, you would never hit the bottom of that though. You would just teleport back up here. So what's going on here is the well, essentially like marrying of the opposites. This is like a physical, actual building where people can meet together in regarding the conversations that I will be having here. Um, there's a. I'm not entirely using my own assets yet. Some of these things are placeholders until the game slightly gets better. But this is like the general idea of it. Eventually, instead of two churches, there will be four. And they will actually be different structures. There will be larger structures with hallways now. Uh, I think multiple rooms is kind of necessary for what this is attempting to accomplish. So these are the same assets. This building and this building. They're just recolored to look differently. But this is made out of neon white light, and it's crazy, man. We go in and we have the symbolism here, starting out, And then on either side of this obstruction is a transmutation circle. In order to, like, into the building, since this doesn't have pillars on the outside of it, you kind of have to change yourself before you go into the main room. Or, like, let the main room change you. These don't move yet, but they will move. And there's a lot of information to unpack in this room. I don't know if I want to reveal all of them yet. But this is a really trippy room. I spent quite a bit of time working on it, and it, you know, it can get a little weird. Something I will say is that there are assets hidden in here that can only be observed by exploiting the game. Like if I were to mute myself right now in the game, well, I don't seem to have the ability to do it. Normally, if I were to mute myself and pull up a HUD, the color offset would show that there are actually other things in here that you normally couldn't see. And man, I've been in this room while sleep deprived. I've been in this room after making questionable life decisions. Yeah, and it's just kind of like it's mostly kind of like a disassociaty thing. Trance type stuff. But as a VR magician, I want to fully incorporate technology into my practice because it helps so much with visualization and kind of like gives it almost more structure. And a church really isn't a building, let me be clear. Like, this will be torn apart and built over again and probably built in VRJet too. But it is a congregation. So it's about, the kind of reception it gets. And this is just the first two ideas. This is a lecture hall, and then this is a room to have an experience or two within VR. After performing certain necessary steps. Something too, since I'm cheeky, I have this skull mask, I have these objects, but I also have this body, which makes me look like one of the bodies in the room. I do have to unequip most of my equipped clothed items that I have, but it's worth the extra effort. So now I look like this fellow, and I can just stand here while people are in this room looking at this stuff. I mean, personally, I'm already getting weird vibes from this. But that's because I use this room quite a bit. Let's see, I'll take you into the lecture hall and explain kinda what the local, not dogma is, but as soon as I can get out of the room, it's sometimes, it's so disorienting. Whew. It's also very bright. So what I have here is a placeholder for a summoning circle, since I am attempting to summon a little bit of an audience. And I will be giving lectures in this area mostly on Hyper Crisis, which is essentially America religion, and I know that's really vague, but I think you've seen some of my stuff that I post online. And it will make sense over time. Uh, there will be a more explorable, more interactive church over time. There's also going to be a basement area that, and rooms that exist in here that are like doors that exist in this area that will lead to rooms that don't exist specifically in this map. And that includes like, I don't know, for example, if we're gonna do a religious one, like a room where you can just like walk in and it looks like you're in India, and the Lord Buddha Siddhartha Gautama, is chilling, meditating, and you can go sit in front of him. The idea is like it's a virtual Chinese shrine that you can come back to, and you can like interact with people that are also viewing it for one reason or another, to kind of like inspire new conversations. But it's not limited to that. It's also, you open the door and you walked into the barn where, let's say the rocket from Krypton hit the barn, and there's just like a rocket ship that's crashed in there, and you can walk up to the rocket ship, and it would be in a 3D dimensional space, and you can like look up, and there's a hole, and you can see the stars through the, into the night sky. It's that kind of, to invoke these really strong feelings that we have. There might even be like a crucifixion of Christ. There might be a crucifixion of St. Peter. There might be something a little satanic. There might be a Big Lebowski room. I don't know, but the idea is a further interaction with these ideas and these stories that we have created, since we now have an interface that can kind of give us that experience. And the cool thing about all this stuff being in beta is that VR is just going to progress faster and faster and faster. And it will become available probably very soon to you too. And everyone and their dog. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, hit me up with more questions. This is what I have right now. And the reason why this isn't called ready, I mean, like, clearly I have a room, but I'm not happy with it yet. I want more experience. I want there to be an underground area that exists theoretically below this space. Which would be a room, or like a corridor of dungeon-esque type things, for a slightly more controversial experience. So yeah, I'm gonna send this over to you. Probably gonna